Welcome to Cord Cutting This Week, episode number 56, the show where I give you my opinion on some of the biggest stories of the world of cord cutting. Now, this is my opinion. If you want to learn more about these stories, in the show, it's down below. I'll have a link to each story where you can read more about them. Come up with your own opinions. Tell me what I got wrong. Tell me where you disagree with me. I'd love to hear from you. First, though, hey, a special thank you to Toast.net for sponsoring this episode. They have a special deal for Cord Cutters News readers. Toast.net is a reseller of AT&T's internet, both fiber and DSL. They offer no data caps and a US-based customer service support. Pricing and speeds vary depending on where you live. And they have a special offer for Cord Cutters News readers. On internet plans of 18 down or faster, they are offering $5 off every month for the first year. Now, this is a limited time deal. If you want to learn more about, link in the show, it's down below. But you need a specific code, and it's CORDCUT17, CORDCUT 17 to get this deal. If you want to get $5 off your home internet every month for the first year on DSL and on the AT&T fiber line. So check that out. And AT&T just launched some more fiber across the United States just this month. So maybe you can be now available where you live. So again, check that out in the show notes, and a special thank you to Toast.net. I really appreciate the support. And I appreciate the support of all the viewers here. If you're new, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. We cover the world of cord cutting with a wide range of news, tips, tricks, and how-to guides, and our weekly recap shows where I give you my opinion. So let's dive into it and see what happened in the world of cord cutting from the past week. First up is TCL, the manufacturer of Roku TVs, the largest kind of flagship brand of Roku TVs, but not the only, has announced that they're restructuring, but that they will still sell Roku TVs. A lot of confusion about this. You probably saw on social media, oh, no more Roku TVs from TCL. Into the world, what does this mean for Roku? I even thought I saw their stock drop. I'm not sure if that's related. I don't know. I'm not a stock guy. But I definitely heard people asking me, and even people who were investors, multiple of them, saying, hey, what does this mean for Roku? Really nothing. According to TCL, they're splitting the company into two basically divisions. TCL Corporate, which is going to work on like business-facing services, non-products and goods, and TCL Electronics, I guess you say. TCL Electronics is going to do consumer-based products. You know, TCL owns BlackBerry now. The company is still there, BlackBerry in Canada, but the phone manufacturing happens through TCL now. So TCL is still going to manufacture and sell BlackBerry phones. Roku TVs will also continue to be manufactured and sold in the TCL Electronics division. So what's happening here? In short, TCL has said, hey, we're a big company now. They're all over the United States. According to TCL, they're the third largest by sales volume TV manufacturer seller in the world. And now TCL has said, well, we're going to have one division that does nothing but focus on consumer products and one that does like business services and other similar products. That way, one person isn't saying, hey, I got to strike this deal with a multi-million-dollar company. At the same time, I got to pick out which TVs we're going to sell in North America, which we're going to sell in China, Korea, Japan, or wherever they're selling all their TVs nowadays. So this is a very good thing, and it's something that is very common as businesses get bigger, right? You see different divisions and different segments and everything from Sony to Microsoft and on. This is kind of one of those things that I really think got blown out of proportion. In the link down below, if you want to read it all, I have a link where they have the blog post. We quoted it in our story where they talk about they're dedicated as they go forward in 2019 to make TVs and smart TVs and continue with it. But you probably heard, if you were on social media the last week, oh, you know, TCL is getting all Roku TVs. Even though they had a post on their site that, no, we're just having one division do business, we're having one division do consumer electronics. Kind of a general issue with technology sites or reporting and word of mouth. I've had multiple investors ask me about this. And what it is doom and gloom sells, right? If I wrote a story that said, hey, it was a beautiful day on Thursday and nothing interesting happened today, right? No one would read that. If I wrote a story that says, beautiful day Thursday, but Friday could kill you, that would get a lot of traffic, right? Though we all joke about it, right? Yeah, come back tonight at 10 p.m. and we'll show you what shocking events happened in your local restaurant's kitchen. Or did you know what happened on your kid's school bus last week? It will shock you. Click, top 10 something or others. Number 13 will just be crazy. I know, right? It's like, wait a minute, you said 10, now it's number 13. Whatever. Clickbait, as they call it. There's a lot of truth in the fact that You make it plain, oh, it's clickbait this or clickbait that, but these kind of negative stories always get a lot of attention with a lot of things. You know, news comes out, something's happening in the world government. You always hear the worst case scenario. As I always say, there is a little bit of truth on each side. There's people who say everything's fine, nothing to worry about. People who say you're going to be killed tomorrow morning. This is going to be your death. You might as well say goodbye to your family. The truth is somewhere in between, right? Is it a little bit more towards the gloom and doom, or is it a little bit more towards the everything is fine is the real question. But the real truth, whenever you read news, rather it be about TCL restructuring and what does that mean for Roku TVs, or it's about net neutrality. Heck, what's happening in the restaurant at your favorite place. So just remember, the truth is somewhere in the middle, and you have to decide, is the truth closer to everything's fine, or is the truth closer to doom and gloom? I would say more often than not, it's closer to everything is fine. Now, doesn't mean you should not read both sides of an argument, make up your own mind. Just take it with a grain of salt that when you hear all these doom and gloom ones, man, those get a lot more views. Those are really powerful and really influential when it comes to businesses. Like, hey, if I write this with a slightly more negative tone, I'm going to get 10,000 more clicks. And that can be a lot of money to a business. So just keep that all in mind. Read the articles, but come up with your own point of view. Hey, let me know though, do you use TCL Roku TVs? I have some. The one that is in our review lab that you see me stand from, do all that pointing from, is a TCL Roku TV. Been very happy with them, but do you use them? Do you use Roku TVs in general? Leave me a comment. I'd love to know what your opinion are on Roku TVs. Next up, Hulu up for sale again? Now, we've talked about this a lot in the past, but there's a new development a little bit in the who's going to own the majority of Hulu soon. Now, we know Disney is buying Fox's share, and they'll give them 60%. When that will close, we do not know. But AT&T is reportedly also looking at selling their 10% share in Hulu. Disney acquired that as part of a deal to buy Time Warner, which they now call Turner Media or something like that. But with that deal and all the other deals to buy DIRECTV and so on, AT&T has $175 billion in debt. Think about that. $175 billion in debt. And to lower that, they're looking to sell some unwanted divisions. One of them may be Hulu. Makes a lot of sense. Disney's going to have a majority control of it soon. And their 10% ownership is the smallest, and they don't get a voting. It's not a voting seat, so they don't have seats on the board of directors. They just own 10% that came when they purchased Time Warner. It's reportedly worth $930 million, so if they sell that, that'll be a nice little infusion of cash. But for now, there's some debate. There are some investors who don't want them to sell it. They're looking at Hulu as a long-term investment, but AT&T is also saying, hey, you know, there is a problem here because we compete with them. We're launching our own on-demand service next year, which will compete with Hulu on demand, and we have DIRECTV Now, which competes with Hulu's live TV. So it would make sense for AT&T to sell that off. The thing here I think really needs a lot of attention is the fact of how far in debt AT&T is. This reminds me a lot of companies like iHeartRadio. When radio was going down about 10, 15 years ago, they just went on a buying spree, bought up a bunch of their competitors saying, hey, if the pie's getting smaller, if we can own the majority of the pie, right, we're still going to do fine. Didn't work out. They're in bankruptcy right now. Not saying that's going to go to AT&T, but I do wonder about this idea that, hey, if we just buy up, if we buy DIRECTV Now, if we buy Time Warner, and we just get a bigger chunk of this pie, that will do just fine. Well, the question is that true? Will their efforts to offer streaming to cord cutters through that deal really pay off? It didn't work out for what was Clear Channel Radio, now iHeartRadio. But these are very different circumstances. But the idea of just buying up your competition doesn't always result in being successful is something I think AT&T has to be careful about. And it's something I'm watching. Not all these streaming services are going to survive. AT&T is talking about 3, if you count Hulu, 4 live TV streaming services. AT&T Watch, DIRECTV Now, DIRECTV Streaming, and Hulu Streaming right now. That's 4 services that effectively all do the same thing. It just doesn't seem like a very wise move. A lot of redundancy, a lot of extra money being poured in these things. What does that mean in the long run? I don't know. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on. The debt load at AT&T, just the interest level on that every day must be staggering. What happens if they just had a 2% interest rate and $175 billion? Any math whizzes? I didn't do the numbers beforehand. I was just thinking of this. What would that be every single day? I'd love to hear if you know what 2% interest on $175 billion is. Say it's a 1% interest. Even 1% interest on that deal would still be staggering amount of money every single day. So keep an eye on that. Now my question to you is, would you like to see AT&T sell Hulu just to get AT&T out of it? Business-wise though, do you think it's more valuable, even though Hulu's losing money right now? Hulu is doing a very good job. They have over 20 million subscribers. I think I heard 22, 23 million. Don't quote me on that. With over a million live TV subscribers. That's impressive. Now, in the long run, Hulu seems to be well placed, with Disney putting a lot of focus on it to make it the more adult version of their streaming, with the Disney service to focus on young children and teens and adults going into the Hulu streaming area. Would AT&T be wise to sit on their 10% and try to profit from everything Disney's doing? Let me know. Or heck, just sell it, get out of it, get that infusion of cash now and call it good. What would you do if you had those two choices? Let me know. Speaking of Hulu, Hulu this week added more live TV channels. So let's jump into the next topic. Hulu now has 801 live ABC, CBS, the CW Now, Fox and NBC affiliates, including Telemundo. I swear I'm butchering that. Apologies if I am. According to Hulu, they have ABC coverage in 88% of Americans. Fox and CBS now offers their affiliates to 99% of Americans. The CW's in 11 markets, NBC's in 97% of America, and Telemundo is in 36% of markets around the United States. 36, not 36%, excuse me. That's way ahead. I think the next one I've heard was PlayStation View, and depending on who you talk to, that's either in the high 600s or low 700s. Hulu, if you want locals, is the service with the most live TV locals. And it goes back to something I predicted at the beginning of the year. I'm going to say this is probably within 99% already true, that by the end of 2018, most local channels would be streaming through one or more. So maybe a channel's on DIRECTV but not on Hulu, or it's on YouTube but not on fuboTV, etc. But somewhere it's very likely that most locals are now there. It's not in all markets. We're very close though. If you think about where we were at the beginning of 2018, where these numbers were like 50% of Fox and 50% of CBS and Hulu. Now it's at 99%. That's pretty impressive. Now again, I was saying that for ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC when I was quoting those numbers, not the CW, etc. But we're very close there. If we don't make it by the end of the next couple weeks, probably the first month or two of 2019, Hulu and other ones will probably have the channel you want. Seems like most major affiliates now have deals. We're just waiting for all the hardware to be installed because you got to make a direct connection to that station, take care of some other stuff, and make it happen. I will put a link to the show notes to our Hulu post that has a list of all of them, and it's pretty great. It goes alphabetical by like ABC, Fox, etc. My question to you is, how important is this though? This is always the great debate. Are you happy with an antenna? And then this is the market Sling TV targets. They say, hey, subscribe to Sling TV. We're 25 instead of 40. Hey, a lot cheaper. Or are you like, I really want this in my live TV streaming service and I'm willing to pay for it. So come get a Hulu, a YouTube, a DIRECTV Now, Fubo, PlayStation View, etc. Let me know, how important are local streaming through your live TV service and why? Why do you want that? So you live in a market where an antenna is not a good option. Some people tell me they don't want to mess with it. They just want to have one thing to mess with. No external DVRs, no antennas, nothing like that. You know my thoughts. I always say, even if you have a service that offers your local, still have an antenna for a backup at least. I don't know, my opinion. But I'd love to hear from you. Hulu's made a big deal. They put their stake in the ground that says the locals are going to be one of the reasons you get our streaming service. Is that paying off for you? Is that important to you? I'd love to hear from you. All right, everybody, there are some of the biggest stories in the world of cord cutting. TCL is still going to sell Roku TVs. Good news for Roku. AT&T is looking to sell off some debt. Are you worried about the AT&T debt load? Would you like to see them sell Hulu? Would you like them to keep Hulu? Let me know. And why? Business reasons? Personal reasons? And Hulu is really doubling down on their local channels now with over 800 live locals around the United States. How important is that to you? Leave me a comment. But once again, a special thanks to Toast.net for sponsoring us with a special deal for our readers. Again, $5 off your first, or every month for your first year. Now, this again on plans 18 and higher on AT&T Fiber DSL resold through Toast, which includes U.S. customer service and unlimited data. Use the code CORDCUT17 at checkout, and I'll have a link where you can see if it's available in your area down below. So questions, comments, let me know. Let me know your opinion. What did I get wrong? Leave me a comment. I'll love to hear from you. Until though next week, I hope you all have a great holiday season. I know a lot of people are probably traveling. We're less than 2 weeks from Christmas. How did that happen? A little over 2 weeks until New Year's? It's just mind-boggling. So keep an eye on the site. I will be at CES next year. I will be doing these every week throughout the end of the year. So check back for a special end-of-year review in a couple weeks. Keep that in mind. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I will see you next week. And we really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me.